Hey, what's up?
All right, we back.
We're back. Yo, welcome to another episode of Rob Knows with Sister Tasha.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Sister Tasha. Okay, y'all. So we've took a little break for a minute. And we're back. So we want to welcome you to the show. Before we start, we want you to go to our channel, YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and click that bell so you can get notifications. And go to our other social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And make sure you follow us. Okay? All right. So now that we got that out the way.
So listen, let's go ahead and talk. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Right?
We're gonna join
We're gonna start off today's show about talking about the slap.
Yes.
Will Smith smacks Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Yes.
And I don't even know what to say about
Can
that.
I say, first of all,
mm-hmm.
you know, I'm fans of both guys, you know, but and I don't want to be like everybody, like, oh, I'm Team Will, but you know, Will and Jada, that's my couple, that's my couple.
And you went to school with him.
Well, let's be clear, I went to school with his brother.
Okay.
And when I first got the book, it was Will's last year. So he graduated in 86. I don't know him like that. Like I said, I graduated with his brother, but I I cringe every time I see the video. But you know what? Brother, it's like we talking about the slap, but me marinating on it all week and everything, the disheartening thing for me is how Black folks, our folks, are crucifying him on social media. And I'm just like, some of the comments that they're making, and it's almost unbelievable. And I often hear Bobby say, this is a cancel culture. She's even gotten back into a back and forth for people on social media about, canceling people. All of a sudden they canceling him. I'm done. I just saw comments from I'm deleting everything Will Smith. I've heard people say, what if he had smacked him? Well, not hear people say, I've read comments. What if he would have smacked him? He would have fell. He would have busted his head. He would have died. And one of my friends posts, I saw this, and she was like, well, he didn't fall. He didn't hit his head, and he didn't die. Of course, they're saying he should have been arrested. He should have been kicked out the Oscars. I'm not disputing anything that he did. I'm not disputing anything, like, I'm not saying he was right. I'm not saying, but white folks are going to crucify him enough. And they are. But us as Black folks, when I say they are going in on this man, it's so disgusting to me. It's so disgusting to me. And the comments that they make, because it's almost like, here it is. They like, oh, they're talking about taking the Oscar back. They're talking about taking the Oscar back. They're talking about suspending him from, I guess, the being on the board, or when you get to a certain status, you're on the board, whatever. And you have people out there who have committed heinous acts against women, children, and everything else. Okay? But here we go. Not even, and I'm not saying you got to have this banner and be like, we support Will Smith. Duh, 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 duh. But if you don't have, like my mom used to tell us, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say nothing at all. But why are we on social media blaming him for how Black people act? Okay? And it's the same people that's crucifying him that be walking around in the street about Pookie and them, free them. They ain't never did nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? And they want to crucify him. They want to. My whole thing is, I'm glad y'all not God, because y'all judging. And don't get me wrong, people are free to have their opinion, but I'm just saying, us as a people. And I just was going through social media, and I was seeing, I got one post that I'm going to put up here, and it is from Bernice King. And I want to show this post, what she said. And it basically sums up, a lot of stars or celebrities came out and says, certain things that I was like rocking with, like, okay, that makes sense. But this is what she said. And this is from her Twitter. She says, anybody who thinks Black people look bad after the Oscars already thought Black people look bad. Respectability doesn't cure racism. Be love. But please don't think that a person who uses one moment to malign a whole group of people did not do so before that moment.
That's deep.
And you have to marinate on that. You have to marinate on that. Once again, whether you feel like that, because everybody, even the Bible speaks about it. If you whatever the laws of the land are, you have to abide by them. And if you break those laws, then you have to suffer the consequences. Am I right, Reverend? And so, shout out to my mom. So, I mean, I get it. But the way but what do you think, brother? Because I'm repeating myself, but I'm just, it's just like I heard a newscaster say, oh, well, this person, if you're in the front row if you're at the front row in these awards, then you're going to get it. And everybody else sits there and they laugh, and I'm sitting there looking at her, but it doesn't mean that their feelings aren't being hurt. They are sitting there because they know that they're in the front row. They know that the cameras is going to be watching them. So what do? To try to play off the fact that whatever that person is up there saying about them is possibly hurting their feelings deeply. But their reaction isn't what his reaction was. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so, but I mean, like, how many times have Jay-Z and Beyonce been in the front row?
Mm-hmm.
It's certain people that they don't touch in the front row. You know what I'm saying? It's certain people that they don't even bother with in the front row. And somebody also said, oh, well, people write their jokes for them. So yeah, I could get that, even though Chris Rock, he's very capable of writing his own jokes, but okay, mm-hmm. Let's say he did write it. I was telling Bobby, because Bobby was upset with me because I was laughing. But the only reason I was laughing is because the internet has no chill. And they always win. Ding, 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 ding. Mm-hmm. The internet always wins. So I was like, but no, you're right. It's not a laughing matter. And I said, but let me just say this. When I was into my reality show kit, looking at all these reality shows, and it was a reality show. Nelly had a reality show. So Nelly always writes skits for these people and jokes or whatever. So they were in the green room and they were going over the jokes. They were going over the skit or whatever it was they were supposed to say. And when they got to a certain part, it was a sensitive matter about another celebrity. And they both looked at each other and they was like, oh, no, I'm not saying that. We're not saying that. So to me, and don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking Chris Rock because Chris Rock, I feel sorry for him. Like, I felt sorry for him. Like, that's crazy. Because like somebody pointed out, like Chris Rock is like almost 60. You know what I'm saying? And
you're 55.
Oh, he's 55. I thought he was closer to 60, like 57 or something like that, like 57. But yeah, so they chose not to say the joke. They chose not to do it. But that's only contingent upon if he knew that she had the alopecia and it was a sensitive subject for her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that just let me know when I, thinking way back on that particular episode or the show that, okay, they have they have the, right or the chance to say, oh no, I'm not going to do this. I'll do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm sorry. What do you think? Like, what do you know?
Well, I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna present it from I ain't on this side. I'm not on this side.
Okay.
I'm gonna present it from here.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your blessing is your curse.
Come on.
Right. When us as people, right? We present a picture to everybody who sees us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your picture starts out from the day you're born. It's a black and white picture. This is me, right? And then you have some people who they don't like how their picture look, right? So let me put a little bit of blush on my picture. Let me put some more color right here, and I want to put down. I got on this Gucci joint, right? And we start creating a picture that's really not us, right? Because we started out black and white. I've had this conversation with a couple of family members. The people that are attacking Will Smith, you have to understand, and we've learned this spiritually and coming up. There's always people waiting for you to take a fall.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will Smith created this image of himself. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Wait a minute.
You got to go out. That always happens.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So years and years it took him to build up this image. He was the guy who everybody father would love to date their daughter, right? Him and Jada presented this image of this beautiful family, right? He tremendous actor, but he built this up. He built this image up, right? And him, more than anybody, should have realized that now you have to live up to this image that you built. Not sometimes, all the time. And one mistake is all it takes for all of those people who really couldn't stand this image that you had created that set you on a pedestal above everyone else. And there's still people there was people waiting, like, he's going to mess up one day. And when he does, I'm going to give it to him. And that one day happened. That one day happened. And understand, I told somebody one time, right? I said, there's two things I know for sure in this world. There is a God, and I ain't him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have some people who build up themselves not to be God, but to be in that same realm of worship. You understand what I'm saying? Will Smith, he knows who he is.
For sure.
Right? He knows who he is. He knows the weight that his name and his fame carry. You feel me? Now, that smack always, I tell my son, he said to me the other day, Dad, how do you feel when a man just cries? Like, does a man have a right to just cry for no reason? And I said, sometimes, son, I said, a man cries, I said, because a black man, walks around and he holds a lot of stuff inside of him. And it's like a balloon. And I said, and it fills up and it fills up. I said, and it can take the slightest thing. You can hold on to so much, but then somebody not making your sandwich right, or somebody cut you off in traffic is enough to burst that balloon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. His wife went on a national show and admitted that she had infidelities with this guy, August, in their home. And Will ate, and I mean, it was everywhere. Like, we talking social media.
He ate. Yeah, he had to eat that.
But he's a man. He's a black man.
Still. Mm-hmm.
And all that built up.
Still.
Right? His wife also went on and sort of kind of questioned his manhood. Not sexually, just Tupac was this. Right?
Yeah,
Will is not.
Yeah, he admitted that though. He talked about that on the Breakfast Club.
So now we get into the smack. Mm-hmm. And if you watch the show, the tape, when Chris Rock first made the joke, he laughed.
Yeah, see,
right? Hold on. Yeah. Now Jada went like this. She didn't like it.
Right. She cupped her hands.
He looked and saw her face. You saw her lips part. You couldn't hear what she said. He got up to do it.
Now, but see, where did you see? I didn't see all of that. Maybe
I got the whole 5-minute part.
Because you know how the media does. They chop it up. So we don't.
Well, you know how our people do. Somebody
got it.
Extended version, but you saw her lips. Right? And then he got up.
Oh.
All right. Now, seems to me he was trying to prove something. Right? And because mind you, he had already been, even if people don't say it, everybody sitting in them Oscars heard what Jada said. They saw the show. They saw it on YouTube. They saw it on TikTok. They saw it live, whatever. So, you know, it's sort of like you sitting there and everybody behind you know that you went to the bathroom and there's some toilet paper hanging out the back of your butt. You feel me? But ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Mm-hmm. And then Chris Rock does that. Now, let's go to Chris Rock. a few years ago, he made some jokes up about.
Yeah, you talking about at the last Oscars
He made some jokes about her.
about when she was boycotting.
Right. And he was
Right.
like, you know what I mean? Like, you wasn't
Right.
going to win an Oscar anyway.
But he said she wasn't invited.
But let's think about something. I saw a show Will Smith did on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where Tisha Campbell was on there. He was dating her. She was so beautiful. She was this, she was that.
Mm-hmm.
And then her hairpiece fell off. And he sat there with this hairpiece on, singing a song. Thought I had a girl with a real hand. You understand? You started off as a comedian. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was about you being stupid. You understand what I'm saying? You insulted people. Alfonso Ribeiro took hellacious abuse from Will Smith on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You understand? But my point is, you're a comedian, and it's just jokes. Now, like I said, he built himself up. He built himself up to be a certain type of a person. And everybody that you see on social media that's bashing him have just been waiting for
their moment,
the chance.
Just
but listen to this.
For their moment.
He knew that. You don't think he knew that? Let me say this. Mommy always says this too. God don't make mistakes.
No, me and Mommy was just talking about that.
God don't make mistakes.
This is a setup for something else.
God allowed whatever happened, he allowed that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if it's for him to wake up, you know what I mean, and realize that, I'm going to say it, the situation you in is not a good one. Because you holding this family together for image purposes.
You know what it is, brother? We all have that humbling moment where something happens in our lives and we may do something. You understand what I'm saying? That humbles us.
Yeah, but then there's a saying, right? Like, okay, me and you can have something happen that humbles us. How much further we fall? Right? Boop, hit our butt, ow. But we get
no.
But you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I'm saying that, but what I'm saying is, listen, I know what you want. It's different. It is different because first of all, we in a whole different tax bracket.
Exactly.
So I know what you're saying. The fall is greater, but the fall is still a fall. Just like a sin is still a sin, no matter how big, no matter how small it is, and to know, like, and it was like Denzel told him, when you're at your highest, that's when the devil
come for you
or whatever. But all right. So I wasn't going to say this. So we had a situation in our family, and this is how I saw it. Sometimes you have your breaking point. Mm-hmm. And I know who I am in Christ. I know who I'm striving to be. But I'm human. So we had a situation in our family where I had to say something to somebody in our family and make it very clear about my mother. Because people put you in a certain category or, look at you a certain way because when you're a Christian. Mm-hmm. And they act like you can't have feelings. Mm-hmm. So once again, not excusing what hey Riddick. not excusing what Will Smith did, but people have feelings no matter how great they are. And I'm learning that more and more and more and more. And when I did what I did, it was at a time that, you know, it was a situation going on, and so maybe I shouldn't have, but at that moment, none of that mattered to me because I was protecting my mama. Even though I'm trying to word it, because like I said, I'm not.
Well, I
don't
mean,
want to get off.
I get it.
But what I'm saying
I know the
is,
situation, so I get it.
I could only, so that's how I feel about Will Smith. Because, you know, people is looking at him like he should have because just like with Chris Rock, we do not know how Will was really, because like, once again, yes, he was in that front row, and I've seen Will do it other times, and he's not the only star that does the fake laugh. It's just that Will knows how to do it very well.
Well, he's an actor.
Okay. So just because I know people's like, oh, he was laughing or whatever, but it might have been that type of laugh, like, ooh, it's that. So his was cool with it, and then Jada it showed all on her face, her clapping her hands together, the rolling of the eyes and everything. So she ain't hide hers. You know what I'm saying? So I just saw a video with Mace, and he was talking to Angie Martinez. And she was trying to come at him about his Christian, about his pastor being he said just exactly what you said. He said, because it was some beef between him and another rapper. And he was like, I'm a man. He said, I'm a man first. He said, and I've been holding this for 20 years. This thing been going back and forth. He said, but now you done cross the line. He says, because I'm a pastor, I'm supposed to. He was like, nah. He said, did you getting ready to see what's going, what can happen if you attack my manhood? He was like, I'm just not going to let you, because I'm a pastor, I'm supposed to let you. He was like, no. He was like, and that's the misconception that everybody has.
Well, I get you. Yeah, I get it.
And so it's like, I sort of been, like, yo, I ain't gonna lie though. I cringe every time I see it. I just be like, oh my God, I cannot even believe, and like, like DL was saying about Chris Rock. Like somebody said, check on Chris Rock. Like, how is he doing?
See how he going on? Because exactly, because like somebody said, he got kids, he got a family. Now we gonna move forward to our next topic, because we've been on here. But I'm gonna leave y'all with this.
Come on, brother, leave us with something.
My mother told me one time before, and I want y'all to really dig on this. People talked about Jesus Christ. So who are you?
They talked about Jesus. Yes, they did. They talked about Jesus.
So who are you? You don't come. You're not even on that level. So people going to talk about you.
Oh, and you know what? Go ahead, brother.
And if you do things to give them something to talk about, they're going to talk about you more.
Right. And one other thing that I want to say before we go on to our next subject. I just want people to know, I saw your comments, and I mean, these was people on my timeline, my friends, whatever. And oh baby, I thank you for showing me who you are, because I feel like, because and not to go keep going, but my daughter is in it. My daughter is in this entertainment business. How would y'all do her if she did something that was, So I just got my eye. I'm looking, I'm listening, and that's what gets me. That's what gets me.
And don't, you know what?
Don't get me wrong. I know, no. I'm just saying.
I've been through a lot.
You know who people are.
I've been through I'm just saying for me,
Mm.
I've been through a lot in my life, and you know it, right? And I know there was talk, whispers, yells, everything about me. But I learned a long time when mommy told me that, when she said, Peanut, people talked about Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? What and that burned in my brain. And it burned so deep in my brain that I just stopped caring what people said about me.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You
Yeah.
can listen, you can say whatever you don't you until you know me as a man, until you know what I've been through, until you know why I've been through what I've been through, then it really doesn't matter. When I get
Mm-hmm.
on my knees and pray,
Mm-hmm.
God already knows what I've been through,
Yes.
right? And
Yep.
I'm where I am today because He heard me, He answered my prayers, and He delivered me from where I was to
To
where
where
I
you
am.
are. Thank God for
So
Jesus.
as long as He talked to me,
Mm-hmm.
and long as He understands me, I don't care what other people say. Never did. A lot of people when I was coming up called me ignorant. I was ignorant because I could care less what you thought about me. And I'm not talking about family. I'm just talking
You're just
about
talking about people in
people.
general, the people, right?
Because once again, there's a lot of people out there waiting for you to
To
fall.
fail. Yep.
So
Yep,
listen,
brother.
let's take a little break. And
Woo,
when we come
yes,
back, we're
honey.
going
That
to
was
talk
heavy.
Final Four and Bracket Busters.
30
Peace.
seconds. We'll be back.
That'll be done in a minute.
Hey, 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 hey,
Yep, we
hey.
back.
And we're back, and we're back, we're back. Yo, we got kind of heavy, but we brought it on home.
Right,
It
right.
had to be talked about. I'm done with it. It's over.
That's it.
On to our
But
next topic.
listen, we about to talk about
Sorry, y'all.
the
Got this on my
NCAA
list.
tournament, March Madness. Listen, every year
March
I
Madness, baby.
watch the tournament, right? Every year. And I say, yo, it don't get no better than that. Right? It don't get no better than that. And every year it get better than that.
It get better than that.
Right?
I'm telling you.
And every year one team destroys my entire bracket. Last year it was UCLA.
Mm.
This year it was St.
St.
Peter's.
Peter's.
And I'm like, I'm watching if you watch them on the court with the teams they knocked off, Purdue was a top 10 team all year.
Mm-hmm.
They even held the number one ranking for a few weeks. Murray State was in the top 25 all year long. Kentucky had aspirations on winning the ring. They was loaded. When you watched St. Peter's on the court with these teams, it looked like a pro team playing against high schoolers. And them high schoolers kept winning. And they wasn't, listen, and it wasn't no fluke.
They was
It wasn't
balling.
no fluke. They
was balling. Straight balling.
They was balling. But let me ask you, sister, out of all of the L's that somebody took, which one shocked you the most?
Which one shocked me the most?
Let me say this. I think I already know the question. Which one hurt you the most that team got knocked off? Which one? Let's hear it. Come on, I already know.
Michigan.
I knew it.
I had Michigan going all the way.
I knew it.
I had Michigan going. Listen, when I found out that Jawad was their coach, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God. And then you know how I feel about Chris Webb.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, everybody, I'm telling, listen. Like I said, you know, I grew up with all boys. So I'm, you know, anytime me and my two older brothers, we was tight like glue. So 1992, they introduced me to the NCAA. And at that time, when they introduced me to the men's basketball, they had a team, it was Michigan, and they had a team of 5 freshmen. 5 freshmen that just took the whole thing by storm. You had Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Juwan
Jimmy
Howard,
King
Jimmy King, and what's the
and
other young man?
Riley.
Riley. What's his?
I forgot his first name, but his last name was Riley.
And I will always say Stacey King.
And,
I don't know where I got Stacey King from, but it's Jimmy King. And my brothers, they was like, Tosh, come, you gotta watch these boys play. And they was like, they freshmen. I was like, what? So I'm like, all right, yo, I got into it. I was holding Sequoia. I was going off. I had Sequoia. They thought I was going to drop my baby. Like Sequoia will be 30 in June. So that's how long I've been rocking with the basketball, with the NC, the college ball. And I just was like in awe of them. And I fell in love with Chris Webber. That was my guy. And it was like I was so invested in them. And like, you know, when he left Michigan, like he left after his sophomore year, right? He went into the pros because it was that much pressure. And Webb was like, yo, if I'm going to have this much pressure, I'm going to the pros.
So no, this is why he went.
That's one of the.
Let me tell you, him, Juwan, and the Michigan Wolverines, them 5 young men started. They're about to start paying these young men. A reason that they all never finished their 4 years. Chris Webber said at home, you know, his mom and them was living. Electric got cut off, car not running. He said they walked past a store and they were selling because they started to rocking the black sneakers and the short socks, right? And they were making millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars
because they were selling their jerseys too
off of these young men, and they weren't allowed to get none of it. And so that's why he went.
And even in college, they were saying that they didn't even, you know, have nothing to eat. Like they had to get, you know, 5 meals. But look, you know, even in college.
We getting off the subject. We gotta get back to the Final Four. So
listen,
for me,
my team was wait, let me tell you, I had Michigan and Gonzaga going. Yeah, you remember Gonzaga was my Cinderella team some years back. Right. And then they were ranked number 1 overall.
Well, I had Kansas and Gonzaga going to the championship.
Oh, the championship, yeah.
I had Kansas and Gonzaga going.
Okay. But that Villanova won that repeat.
But I had Final Four. I had Baylor. I can't remember because I don't have my bracket. But I know I had the Elite 8. I'm sorry, not the Final Four. I had Baylor. I had Gonzaga. I had Kansas. I had Kentucky. My sleeper team.
See, yeah, you jumping on the. Go ahead.
Yeah, my sleeper team, I think, was who was my sleeper team? Miami was my sleeper team.
Okay, so for my Elite 8, I had Gonzaga and Duke and North Carolina and Purdue. That's on one side. My other side, I had Arizona, Michigan, Kansas, and Wisconsin.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Wisconsin has a good fundamental team, but they not athletic. And every year, you can always count on Wisconsin to win the first round.
Right, just go to the.
But you know, they're just a bunch. I don't want to say it, but they're just fundamentally sound. But every year when they run into a more athletic team, they get knocked off.
Yeah.
The cards have to fall right. They have to hope that a lower seed beat a seed that they really can't beat, and then they bully them with size and fundamentals. I never thought they was going to make it that far. People need to start paying attention to Villanova.
Yeah.
And they need to start mentioning Villanova in the same breath as Duke, Kansas. Now, they may have not won as many national championships, but over the last 10 years, Villanova has either been in the Elite Eight, the Sweet 16, the Final Four, the championship.
And whatchamacallit said he was taking them to, when he said that, I was like, I'm still going with Michigan. But what's his name? Kenny Smith.
See, you voted with your heart.
Yeah.
You chose with your heart.
I chose with my heart. But
I knew that Michigan could not. They couldn't beat. They didn't have the size and the strength inside to go with Villanova. Now, don't get it twisted. It came down to that last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The last 5 minutes of the game told it.
Yeah.
It could have went. It could have. That pendulum could have swung. But if you watch the very good teams, these teams that are left, if you watch them, they could go down in the game, but they never feel like they gonna lose. None of them.
Yeah.
Even if a team play them tough.
They played to the. I love it. They played to the last.
Yeah.
Second, like what I learned with this tournament is you cannot be like, oh, it's over. No, you really can't say it's over till that fat lady said you cannot do it.
Somebody in this tournament was down 18. I forget who it was. They were down 18 points and they came back and won the game. And I was like, because I was, when I watched the tournament.
Let me ask my side co-host. Who was down 18 points and came back? Do you remember? They was down 18 points and came back and won the game on this tournament. She said, was it Michigan that was down 18 points?
It could have been. I think so.
Because my mom plays my mom does her bracket.
Yeah. I raised her right. But look, it's just, every tournament always provides a different thrill. I flip back and forth to so many games. I might be watching this game because they put the games up over top of the screen. Yeah. And I'll look at that game and be like, oh, that game only 1 point. Flick to that one. Yeah. And then, all right, that team was losing. Wait a minute, they went. I'll flick to that one. And I think she's right. I think it was Michigan because I was looking up in the top like they about to lose, right? And I never turned to it. And then in the last 3 minutes, I looked up like, oh. And they came back, right? And for me, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I do not watch college basketball during the regular season, right? Because to me, this right here is college basketball, March Madness. Because I don't care what you do all season. Look at you got teams that are 30-1, 28-2. 27-3, and they home.
Yep.
It don't matter what you did. That's why I love this tournament. It don't matter what you did all season. All that matter is what you do right now.
Right then and there.
And they did it. They do it in college football now. Professional basketball now has a play-in. Just like college has a first four for the tournament.
Yeah, first four.
They have a play-in. So teams 7, 8, 9, and 10 have to play their way into the
tournament.
and it's not a best of 2 or 3. It's one game.
Yeah.
So
One and
7,
done.
8, 9, 10, you got one game to get into the NBA playoffs or not. And I think that instead of the way they did it in football, professional football, with adding an extra team, they should have just had a play-in like they do in the college football playoffs. All right, you got 2 teams whose records are similar. They're on the bubble and play. Take the 4 team, because sometimes you'll have who made the playoffs, and then you'll have 3 teams that are 9 and 7 and 1 team that is 10 and 6. Let them all play, and whoever wins is in. Whoever loses is out. You know what I'm saying? So the March Madness has set a new precedence for a lot of things. And then you have a school. I got to give them credit up there in Newark, New Jersey, because they on this side. The Peacock, listen, them young boys, they scrapped. When they scrapped, they fought, and they coached. He never wavered. He never wavered. When they were losing, they were down 20 points to North Carolina. He kept coaching them. Now let me tell you what happens with coaches like that. This brother had been trying to get on as an assistant on a coaching staff at a power school. They said for years. Now he done took this no name
team
school to the Elite Eight. Now you got colleges, Seton Hall, they want to talk to him. And this university want to talk to him. If I was him,
you want to see what he's doing.
Listen, I'm cool right here, but I ain't him. And if his desire was to always coach a big university, he could take this cash in this season, and he can cash it in, because you know, if you a coach at a big time university, you make 6 figures.
Yeah.
And I'm sure St. Peter's is not paying him
that much.
What some of these other college coaches
are making. Right.
Mike Krzyzewski, who coached Duke, when he signed an extension to stay at Duke, it was for like $16 million over like 4 years. What? Oh man, you listen. He coaches when we play in the Olympics. That's the dude who coach for Duke.
Oh, okay. All right, I didn't know that.
Like he that bull. But you know, it's a lot of coaches that coaches. Like I guarantee you, Juwan Howard, all that he bringing the love back. But I guarantee you, he's making a couple. His contract is for millions. It ain't for hundreds of thousands. It's for millions because he's coaching at Michigan.
Yeah.
And so not only did the team and the school get notoriety, that young brother who coached them, because a good coach. And I used to say this. I had a coach one time. If he'd had told me I had to run head first into a brick wall to get better, that's what I would have done. A good coach got to make you believe. Yep, he got to make you believe. You got to believe what he's telling you.
Right. Yeah.
And he got them young men. He told them, I don't care what jersey is in front of us. We gonna play them like we play everybody else.
Right.
And they never saw Kentucky. They never saw Purdue. They never saw, you know what I mean?
Right.
They just saw an opponent.
Right.
In front of them.
Right.
And they was in the wet.
Right.
And that's the part I love.
But okay, so who do you have in the final? Who do you have now in the final? Like, did you repick?
My only team I have in the finals is Kansas. I had Gonzaga. And I didn't even know I had to go to work, so I didn't even know Gonzaga lost. I saw you go, no, Gonzaga. I was like, please. Look,
I was done.
You messed up my sleep.
Listen,
I was mad. I was like, why she tell me?
But who do you have now? Who do you have now in the final four?
The only ones I got Kansas and Villanova. That's it.
Okay. See,
I got Kansas and Villanova
in the final four.
Right.
So now Kansas and Villanova is in the Final Four,
Yep.
right? And who do you predict is going to win that between the two of them?
Well, I mean,
let's go there.
I like Villanova, but one of their best players tore his Achilles last game, and I think that's going to hurt them because it doesn't. Jay Wright is only using a rotation of 6 men. Kansas is running like 8.
Okay.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean. I think the depth, because they're both going to run.
Mm-hmm.
The only chance I see Villanova having is to stop and make it a half-court game in the first half. And then in the second half, if you want to let the horses go, let them go. But if you start off running the whole game in that last 5 minutes, they're going to run out of gas because Kansas is going to keep subbing. They're going to keep that rotation fresh. You know what I mean?
Right.
So once Dude got hurt, that's why that game with UNC was so tight. Because that young boy wasn't playing. You know what I mean? So it's
oh yeah, the guy from North Carolina got hurt. Yeah.
Nah, I'm talking about the bull from Villanova.
Oh, I thought you said UNC.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. No.
But
UNC didn't play Villanova.
Didn't their big
UNC
guy, North
played,
Carolina big guy, didn't he get hurt?
Yeah, he did. He tore his Achilles. Because
so
I believe if he wouldn't have got hurt, North Carolina would be
in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Because in the Final Four, who is Arkansas and Purdue, right? Wait.
No, it's not. It's Villanova and Kansas. And then it's
Duke won?
It's Duke.
Okay, so it's Duke. Purdue won, or St. Peter's is in the Final Four?
St. Peter's is done.
Or North Carolina.
They lost.
Mom, who's in the Final Four? So it's North Carolina, Nut.
Yeah.
It's playing Duke. North Carolina.
I meant Michigan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I meant Michigan. Yeah.
So,
well, somebody listen.
You tired?
I did well over 1,500 miles this week.
Everybody, my brother is a truck driver, and he hauls heavy loads, and yeah.
Listen, I'm beat down. I'm beat down for the listen.
That's okay, but we on here.
Yeah.
So in the Final Four, we got Duke and North Carolina. I don't know. I still would have to go with Duke if I'm going to pick.
Yeah, Duke going to beat them.
Between the two.
I think Duke going to beat. I think it's going to be. Let me tell you why. What did I tell you in the beginning of this tournament? I told you Duke was going to get there because this is Mike Krzyzewski's last year.
Right.
His players is not letting him go out with nothing but a shot of the chip.
Okay.
So I had Gonzaga really.
They messed me up. I had them all the way too.
They played. It was like they played like, all right, we can turn it on when we want. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because
it was a close game. It was close,
but
game.
If you're the number one overall,
right? They should have. Yeah.
A couple of their games were close games.
Yeah, it was. The last.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, come on, you the number one overall. You played in the championship last year, and then you saw what happened to the defending champs, Baylor. They got knocked off.
Yeah.
So you should have had a sense of urgency, like, oh, the defending champs lost.
Because we got to tighten it up. I had Baylor over North Carolina, and that's where that's where it must be.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm looking at Baylor. Baylor basically, I think, but for one or two players, they brought back their whole team. So I'm like, okay, they really running it back. And then I was really thinking maybe them and Gonzaga would get into the final until I heard that Duke, that their coach, this was his last year. And I told you at the beginning of this tournament, I was like, yo, Duke going.
Yeah.
They're not letting him go out. he not going out there. His team ain't letting him go out like that. They playing for him. They want to give him that championship to walk away into the sunset with that championship. So don't be surprised if Duke take the whole thing. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go against even though I had Kansas in the championship, I'm gonna rock with Villanova. I'm gonna go Villanova
with the home team.
I'm gonna go Villanova, Duke,
and then Duke over Villanova.
And unfortunately, I think Duke is good because they got all you as an athlete. If you got extra motivation, sometimes that much will push you over the top.
Yeah.
And if them kids love that man, and they look at him like, we're not sending coach out. But you'll be surprised how I remember Coach Keys told us. He said, when we played this team to get to the playoff, we had to beat them to win our division. And he said, all I want is to win this championship this year. And we played this team, and I got knocked out about 3 times. Okay, I mean knocked out. Like, I took some hits. And I remember him standing over me like, can you play? And I'm like, yeah, coach, I can play. And I got up and went back and walking sideways because I didn't want to let this dude down.
Wait, mommy just showed me this. Duke didn't win. Arkansas beat Duke. You sure?
Arkansas, no, they didn't.
Reverend just bought me this thing. We gotta fact check.
Yeah.
Because we on here, we gonna fact check this. Let me see.
Tell mommy to stop trying to photobomb our
Excuse you.
It's Duke and North Carolina is Villanova and Kansas. Arkansas did not beat Duke.
Okay. Hold on, let me see. Mom, you busted in our podcast to say something wrong. Arkansas did not beat Duke.
Tell her she looking at the women's.
She said, you said you looking at the women's 4. And she all coming over here with her little. She all over here with her little paper, y'all.
Her what they call her cue card and shit.
Her little, look her little bracket.
Who she still got?
She didn't cross out because she had Arizona. Who did she have? She had.
Who Arizona. She got in her final? Do she got any teams left in her final 4?
They wrong because she got North Carolina. I mean, she got Duke.
Arkansas.
Or Arkansas.
In her final 4?
Originally, she had UCLA and Arizona in the final 2, and Arizona taking it.
That's not a bad shot though.
It's not. That's a good one.
That's not a bad shot.
Now she had North Carolina against Villanova, but she didn't realize that Duke had beat.
I mean, North Carolina can beat Duke and Villanova can beat Kansas, and there you Arkansas.
Go. So now she has in the final 2. She has North Carolina.
All right, hey, she might not call her. You know, mommy got that direct line. She might have called it.
She did pretty good.
We will see. If they still got to play the game, though.
Yeah, they still got
to play the game. Well,
right,
this was fun. Yeah. And we want to let y'all know more shows are coming. Send us some comments, and give us some direction as to which y'all want to see us or hear us talk about. And, like Sister told you in the beginning, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification so that when we do post new videos, you'll be the first to see it.
And my last tidbit, is let's continue to lift each other up as a people. Don't be so quick to tear each other down. Love on one another. Okay, forgive. And I'm speaking to myself as well. We have to learn how to forgive and move on. And like brother said, again, like, share, subscribe, and just follow us on all social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We love y'all.
Love you. Stay up. Stay informed. Find out what Rob knows. Peace.
Peace.
Diesel on the beat.